Hello and welcome, and today we'll look at a demonstration where I really struggled to get the tones right, and I had to redo a lot of stuff to just get the painting working. So hope you enjoy this struggle of getting this painting to work and understand the complexities of watercolor when it comes to getting the tones right. The biggest problem with watercolor is that it dries light, so you put in a paint assuming that it is dark enough, but it ends up being too light, and that's the issue that I really struggle with in this particular painting. I had tried my level best to cut around the boards and leave the white behind. Next step is to get the warm color in the boards and then drop in some cool colors like blue to just get that glow on the boards where it's not catching the light. So for this I use the same mix actually as the sand with a little bit more yellow ochre, and to get that warm color in. So there's a fine line of white there which I tried to leave behind but couldn't. Maybe if I had painted in a bigger sheet I probably could have, but yeah, nothing much I can do at this point, so I'll just ignore that and continue. We're almost done with the first wash, so got all the soft edges going at this point. As I start putting in the darker green for the trees in the background, one of the challenges that I face at this point is to get the trees and the building to read as one shape in the background. Even though they are almost the same tone in terms of darkness, the building is different in color. So at this point I'm not really sure of what color I'm going to use to paint the building, but first I'll finish these trees and then put in some darker color to match the tone of the trees. At this point I realized that I do have gone in a bit early. The paper is a bit more wet than I anticipated. That's alright, that's part of the challenge of painting with watercolors. It's just, you just have to continue and try to control your washes. And you can see that the building shape is also like, the pigment is spreading a bit more, and I'm like struggling to get a nice edge there. Yeah, but the trick is to just keep on correcting. The wash will dry with time, and you'll get a much better edge. As I keep on correcting, the size of the building keeps on increasing. But yeah, that's the nature of watercolors. It's just, important thing is to just have fun, try to correct when it's wet, and see how it goes. I have let the paper dry, and I'm using my mix that I created for the shadows. So it's a mix of blue, red, and a bit of burnt sienna as well. Now, at this point itself, I realized that the contrast that I expected from the green is not enough. The green should have been much more darker. I might have to revisit that, but I continue with the shadows first, finish them off, and worry about the contrast a bit later. At this point, I'm like really quite happy with how the shadows have turned out, and I have managed to get that three-dimensional effect on the board as well. And I continue the shadows in the background where it meets the trees and building at the back. Now the background building and the trees have dried, and I do realize that it's a lot lighter than what I wanted. It's not giving us the dark backdrop I was after, so we might have to revisit and like darken them a bit more. And as I keep on correcting the building, it's becoming larger and larger, and hopefully this is dark enough now. That should be it. At this point, I'm pretty much done with everything that I planned to do to get this painting going. But I do realize that it's not reading that great. I might have to like do some corrections to like make it work. Two things that I really didn't get right was the focal area. It's not prominent enough, and it's not having enough contrast to work as a focal area, so I need to correct that. And also, because I kept on making the darks darker and going over the same area again and again, the colors have become muddy. Therefore I need to find a way to somehow like bring a bit of sparkle into the painting. So let's go ahead and see what I can do. Now I'm putting in like almost pitch black. This is ultramarine blue with burnt sienna, the same mix that I used for the building again, but with a lot of ultramarine. So I'm darkening this area for the third time in this painting, which is not ideal, but it needs to be done because the contrast was not there at all. Now the shadows have to be darkened as well to match the darkest darks that I have put in. So yeah, I'll go ahead and got kind of an opaque mix of royal blue and whatever the purple that was remaining in the palette. And now the boat, the shaded area of the boat also needs to be darkened to match this. And as you can see, now we do have some contrast and the focal area does look much better. But the freshness of the watercolor is missing. We cannot do much about it unless we get the darks right in the first go. That freshness that comes with watercolor cannot be achieved by like correcting it over and over again. I used a wet brush with no pigment just to like lift some paint off. And next I'll add a bit of color just to like bring a bit of interest and just to add a bit of sparkle to the painting, because the colors have got all muddy with all the rework that I did, and that bright orange just like brought a bit of life into the painting. So that's one trick you can use when you end up with colors that look muddy. You can just add a bit of bright orange, bright pink, or even a bit of bright blue just to make things sparkle a bit more. I hope you enjoyed this demo. This is not an ideal demo, but it shows the struggles of painting with watercolors and what you can do to like correct things. It's not ideal to correct things in watercolor, but sometimes it does help, rather than just throwing the paper away and starting again. Just trying to get things corrected can help to get that painting to work, or at least help you in the next attempt in painting the same subject. Thank you, and please do subscribe to the channel, and hope to see you again soon.